Yeah, that happened on my, I think, last day.
Okay.
Before I went away.
Miller got executed.
I'm sorry?
Miller got executed. He's alive though.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, like, dead or like.
No, it was like an attempt. I guess like attempted execution. Like.
Okay. The one I was reading though that stood out to me. I read through all of them, but the SOP updates.
Wait, where? Oh, TRT?
The police standard and updates.
Yes. Yep.
For the hot gun stuff, like, what does this mean? Like, we can't.
Do you mind if we drive and talk? I'm just waking up. So hot gun stuff. The hot gun stuff, because I heard, it's because, you know.
I mean, I only really had like one question. I don't want to take up your day.
No, it's fine. I got to talk to you about some stuff, anyways. So, the hot gun stuff is, it could be better written. I think I overheard some people confused about it because they said rip hot gun charges, and I was like, I think it might be. We can put an update in it. Idea is like this.
From the way it's written, that gun that was found on Speedy, that wouldn't have been able to be a hot gun charge based on this, like what it's saying in this update. Because I didn't witness anyone there. I didn't see anyone fleeing. I didn't hear the shots.
I think it's not meant to. I think the thing is, like, a lot of those things are like my complaints to right that finally are coming into place. The idea is that some people go to boost calls and they pick up a case in and they'll mark it as criminal use. But that's not what we want to be doing, you know? Because, like, let's say, like, you know, we had casings over here. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, because, like, from what this statement in the update says is that, like, we have to observe a suspect or stolen vehicle fleeing the scene, pursue the suspect, hear gunshots coming from the area displayed on dispatch, or witness the crime in progress.
I will bring it up at the meeting. There's a command meeting today, I think, or unless it's Thursday. Either way, no, that it's not intended to read like that. I can get clarity. I know as the person that's one of the people that's been making. Okay, so this is. I think that was meant. The bulk of our criminal use, like hot gun charges, are literally like someone goes to a boost an hour later and they're like, "Oh, criminal use." You know what I mean? What the intention here is that we're trying to get people to articulate charges instead of just marking criminal use, because that's not only a waste of a charge, but it can also screw up a case. So the idea being that you need to be able to, there's two things that are happening simultaneously. One is, let's say you go to a scene like the Grapeseed incident where there was like a bunch of shots fired. We can articulate that there weren't just random casings, right? That those casings were used to shoot at a bunch of targets, and they came back to unknown long barrel rifles, and that I think we could put criminal use there, right? But I wouldn't mark it as criminal use. I would say that given that it was like pertaining to a bigger investigation, specifically, you know, what are these guns? Like, what's going on here? Is that at the top, the summary would say something like, please get in contact with Not, Maeve, Octo, Bean, or something like that, right? I'll give you another scenario. Let's say we go to there's a bunch of 37 calls coming from, I don't know, Little Soul, right? Like the little chicken factory. And there's a bunch of gun casings, a bunch of blood, right? And we arrive on scene. We might say, hey, there may be suspicion of these people selling drugs, but we wouldn't actually put criminal use because we might not put a charge associated to that scene. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. The main key here that I'm pointing out is like, we need to be able to articulate a charge. And I think, unfortunately, when that was written, probably the writer had the boost calls in their mind. So yeah. Because
the way it's the way I see it is that this update, people will read that and they might not pick up casings for stuff that could like come back to something really crucial because they didn't see anyone. And like, what if we turn up to a scene where we found a dead person with casings, but we didn't see anyone fleeing? We didn't see any. Let's say there was no dispatch call. There was no one heard the shots.
Do you mind giving it a go on updating that? Don't update it directly, but give me like text that clarifies that. And what I'll do is I'll bring it to Frost and Ruby, and we can put a little update on it.
So what you don't want is people to just go around collecting casings like willy-nilly, not knowing what it was for.
Yeah, we should be in like, there should be bare minimum police standards and updates. Let me just make sure. Hotgun's instructions at the top of the report help us quickly assess cases and must review all statements, key details such as casings found crime scenes before submitting a hotgun report. Leos must clearly state that they observed a suspect or stolen. Okay, I see what you're saying. Like, that's not meant to read like that. It's like, should include, like, it's not intended to read, must clearly state that they observed a stolen car on scene, pursued the suspect. It's saying, okay, I will, you know what? Let me bring this up to Ruby and Frost and we can get better worded and then send an update out. Because I think it's like, it's listing examples of, it should probably read, must contain probable cause before. So there's a bit of an issue here because hot gun is like conflated a bit, the term, because a hot gun just means it ties back to a crime scene. It doesn't imply that we have a specific charge, right? Yeah. So I think I'm going to cook on it a bit, but literally I think the only thing that's intended to say is that before you add that as a part of the hot gun report, we need to provide as much information as possible into that report. If we can articulate that there's suspicions of certain crimes, then we should place that instead of, we're trying to get rid of the, if you find this case in, then give this charge. That's like the intention. We're like,
why are they trying to get rid of that?
If this, then press this charge.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm a huge proponent of getting rid of it because it's like, because it doesn't make any sense. So like every, like 90, I'd say 90% of scenarios, it's not probable cause. Like, so let me give you, I can iterate through some examples. If you, because we don't have a suspect, you know what I mean? And so in some cases it might make sense, but like most reports that say if you find this charged with this, it doesn't make sense, because it's like ignoring it. It's creating robots in our department that aren't reading reports. That's like the best way to put it.
I kind of get what you mean. Like I've had times where like I've found like a besties member, for example, with a gun, and the gun comes back to a Hydra versus Mana
exactly,
and I don't charge them for it, because clearly that was the besties were not there. Like I will, you know, use my discretion to, you know, realize that they weren't part of that.
I'll go even further and say that I wouldn't even say it's your discretion. It's that charging it would be, the discretion sort of implies, I know I'm being pedantic here, by the way, is that like discretion would imply that
I'm supposed to
it'd be appropriate to do it. I would say that it would be bad faith to push it. And we kind of have created a culture from like back in the day where we're like speed running these, like pushing charges. And while this is coffee hasn't kicked in yet, so I'm trying to find like good ways to talk about this. We've created, it's almost like a bunch of criminals became cops and then found like the cheapest, shittiest way to like push police work. That's what it feels like. Luckily that hasn't happened, but it feels like that, because the thing is, like, we should be, you know, like you said, every gun, we should be able to look at the report. Unfortunately, some people, until Ruby and Frost came in and said, no, we ain't gonna do this, have been making like really dog shit excuses as to why it takes so long to look at a report. It's like, no, it doesn't. You literally just open it up and you like breeze through it. Right now, that's why we want the summaries at the top, right, to assist in that. But like, just like you said, it takes like no time, barely any effort at all to like look at that report and, like you said, be like, wait, this doesn't make sense for them to be there. We're not going to charge this. But if there is enough, like, it's like, you know, this gun was used in the commission of, like, in a gang-related shooting, unknown individuals, then we might push it, right? Like, that's a part of our processing. That's a part of basic investigation. And but on the flip side of it, on the other end of the spectrum, there's also this demand that we don't just show up on a scene and say, oh, there's a casing and do criminal use. To be honest, any incident that's not, you know, we're just charging with criminal use, we're mostly addressing the lazy criminal use charges. You know what I mean? Like, let me give you a prime example. At the Purple Dinosaur over here, there was a report that said criminal use of a firearm, and it was a murder. So, instead of, like, you know, saying criminal use, that hot gun report should say, hey, at the top it should be like, hey, this gun came back to a scene that had 2 individuals that may have died, something was stolen, unknown exactly. And that way, somebody who is interested, investigators, whatever, can review it and look at it. We can even put a contact information in it. That way we don't end up having murder scenes get charged as criminal use and then completely destroy the case. You know what I mean? So,
okay.
But anyways,
that's fine. I mean, I guess that could just be mended then, like in the update, just by adding, like, I don't know, like if you find further evidence of a crime on the scene, like, to still document everything, because the way it reads, I think people are just going to stop picking up casings if they don't see anything or hear anything.
Yeah, I will bring that up. I think you're right. I'm glad you brought that up, because I think that was a concern I kind of felt in the room yesterday, but like no one said anything. But that's also typical, people playing in private, not in public. Okay.
Because to be honest, there is only a select few people that actually will go around collecting casings from old scenes and making reports for them so that people get charged. Like Jenna being one of them. I know that she will actively go and clean up like boost scenes and make sure all that evidence is logged, and she will put the, charge with criminal use of firearm. But if that's not what High Command wants people to be doing, I feel like just telling us not to do that kind of thing is better than changing the wording.
I think like if it's a boost scene, then we need like the boost ticket or something. It's
so like, I guess having a dispatch call, would that make sense to be able to put it up for that? Like,
yeah,
the car was stolen. We went to the scene. Here's the report of the car being stolen. Here's casings we found on the scene. This person
exactly
likely used their gun to shoot the owner of the car. Okay, so I think in the thing then, in the update, it says dispatch call, include the dispatch call as supporting evidence, but I feel like it should say LEOs must say that they saw a dispatch call in, like, the initial evidence bit where it's like that you observed a suspect or stolen vehicle fleeing the scene.
Yeah.
I feel like having dispatch call in there instead of just having dispatch call as supporting evidence would be helpful. Just so people know that they can at least make a report based off the dispatch call.
Yeah,
because it looks like the way it's written that you can only use dispatch
like
call.
Don't even create a report. Evidence. I think this is mostly don't say just charge with when it's just like, okay, there's a random casing. Like it's like,
yeah,
it's
I mean, that does make sense. I get that actually. Yeah. Because like, for example, the casing I found that Speedy got charged with, I was at the BCSO. I saw the dispatch call of what the hell? It's just a naked man in the woods. What the fuck was that?
Wait, what? Where?
Go back. On the bend. Go back. What the fuck was that? That was terrifying.
Deer?
No, look on the right. Oh, he's not naked, and it's not a man. That scared me though. Like in the headlights.
Fuck?
What is she doing?
Oh, it might be one of those new Babylonians.
I watched Weapons the other day, and this is scaring me. That was weird. So yeah, like the speedy thing. For that, like I have no, motive for why he shot. I don't know why that person shot there. I kind of just went to the shot fired call, found the casing, and made a report about it.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad thing. It's that we just don't want to just do criminal. We've got way too much criminal use and not enough of the rest. So we were getting it stacked up with criminal use charges, and like there's clearly more. And I think that's what this is. I'll get clarity, and I'll try to. I hope I'm not wrong. I'm like 90% sure, because like a lot of these topics are things that have been actively discussed for 2 months, like over the last 2 months, maybe 3 months.
If we don't see anyone though,
you can still make it. Yeah, I don't think this is intended.
A dispatch call of like a hot run, for example.
Sure.
We went to a scene where there was a tracked vehicle. We couldn't find the vehicle, but we found shots on scene.
Absolutely.
What could we charge them with?
So here is, I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
The reality is that the PD is so down bad, we're effectively having to rebuild the PD. And that means like retraining everybody. I can't believe you said you kind of like that. That's insane. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. I feel like sometimes things settle and then people get complacent.
I agree with that. Yeah, I think it's
I mean,
like
it's good to have,
complacency,
like-
just like also very poor training. The issue is that the concept of RS and PC are, I don't think, properly understood, and so as a consequence, I don't think there is like even a formula to solve this, because it's all case by case, right? And it depends on the scene. The example it sounds like you were starting to use is like, well, if we have like all this other supporting evidence, if that supporting evidence provides probable cause that the individual that fired that gun was involved in a armored car run, then we should charge them as such. And that's kind of it, right? Is that some of these boost calls, we had enough to push Grand Theft Auto, but we just said criminal use. In other cases, it was, in some cases we had the evidence, in some cases we had nothing, right? And what the report should, sorry, it's Stevie. One second. Hey, Stevie.
Hey, free at the moment?
I will be in a little bit. I'm just having a little chat right now.
So when you're free, can you come down to the bridge playground? Because I have Miller here, and I think it'd be good if you had a chat.
Okay. The bridge playground.
Yeah, you know where the soccer field is? Bridge Street by...
Bridge Street.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I can do that.
Right,
Okay.
I'll see you soon.
All right. Talk to you in a bit. So what was I gonna say? You're right. So there's a 37 alpha call. Yeah, well, go ahead. Run the scenario for me.
Okay, so a hot run. Usually they'll shoot. We'll get the ping for the tracked car. People will either go and chase the car, or
do we know this?
We won't have time. I mean, what, the hot runs?
Yeah, you're talking about the armored car? Oh, I didn't even know we had that information.
Well, okay, so the armored cars, I was told the other day that they do shoot before they get the car, like 6 or 7 guards, something like that.
So I'll even I'm going to stop you right there. Is you as a law enforcement officer, unless you've got a report that indicates, like investigative, that's deep enough to show a pattern of this being the case, we can't even utilize that. And you as like a deputy or whatever, right? Even if you're, regardless of rank, unless you yourself have knowledge of this through experience, or experience including like a full investigative report, that's not something we can utilize, right? And part of it is because, and I'm just gonna shoot straight, who knows where that information originally came from, right?
I think there was some officers that like witnessed one of the armored vehicles being stolen recently. But the hot run, for example, not the armored cars, but the one that typically they steal a car from, like East Joshua Road. I saw the other day, like the one we went to. We was at BCSO,
like jewelry boxes or whatever.
Yeah, we went, and then James Moulding was there in like a gauntlet, and he was leaving the scene. There was a bunch of dead locals on the floor. I stayed behind to collect the casings. We would just collect them, and if we haven't caught him, we would put in the report anyone caught with firearms matching these casings would just get criminal use, because the way that it's been taught, which you're right is wrong, is that we are setting it up so that anyone who is caught with that gun, regardless if it was James Moulding or not, is going to get charged with criminal use of a firearm because the gun was shot, not because we think it's James Moulding killing 7 locals. And
I would rather have all the supporting evidence to articulate RS or PC for it to be more than just that, and I think that's what we should seek after. And I would say that it's like there's like this two ends of the spectrum. It's like a mix of lazy collecting and then overzealous, right? And we have to find that like middle ground is
I think a lot of people
and then
don't
be comfortable
even bother.
pushing it.
So some people don't bother collecting old shit though. Like they'll find casings on the floor and leave it. Me personally, I like to document stuff. But with the changes, that's why I'm like trying to find out exactly what High Command want from this change.
It's more that we start to think investigatively and stop the lazy report writing, while on the other end of the spectrum, you know, the overzealous stuff. There's
so you
no
just want people to be putting in the work in their like hot gun charges.
100%. And like it's kind of like the reality is that where we need to be is probably going to take time just through looking at things and providing feedback. And like, you know, like I'm gonna provide two ends of the spectrum. Is that if we go to a random location where there might be boosts and there's a bullet on the ground, right? That is understandable for criminal use, right? But like, was it really? Did we check dispatch? Did we do da-da-da-da-da? Right? If there's nothing else there, then like, you know, I almost rather we don't put criminal use as a hot gun. It's just such a foolish, like, thing to say. Like, I don't know. I just don't like it. I hate that charge to begin with. It's only there. The reason why criminal use exists, Maeve, is so if someone goes and shoots a gun as a civilian for fun, we charge them, right? So the bar for hitting probable cause when we see them is like way higher. Like, we should see someone do that. If it's just someone fired a gun out in the middle of nowhere, that's not really hot gun. Like, you know, it don't make no sense. But then another scenario is you find a case in the midst of where there was a ton of 71s. Well, when you go there, that's enough of an indicator that don't just say criminal use. There's a bunch of other shit that happened here, and it should be looked into. As the reporting officer that might be keeping it, it is your duty to put all that information there, so either yourself or someone else might tie it to whatever it is, right? Could have been gang related, right? Could be whatever, you know?
Well, this is good to know, because as a FTO and senior, like when people are gonna like question about this change, at least I know like how to sort of guide them through it. Yep.
Yep. 100%. There's another thing too, is like, what if that shell casing was for something else that was already collected and it was just left on the ground? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's maybe that's a better way to do
case,
it, is like stop putting criminal use hot charges. Or maybe the alternative, I'm trying to find a middle ground to make it easier for like the average Joe to react, as maybe we just need to say, don't use these for hot gun charges. Don't prescribe these, right? But everything else.
The problem is there's not many other, like without a dead body on scene, a 911 call, a dispatch call, like I'm gonna keep using the example of the SMEHDI casing that I found. What else could I have charged there? And if it's a case of I just shouldn't.
What was the SMEHDI one? Because
it's the one where I found there was a report of shots fired at the Painted Hills opposite the BCSO, and I went there. There was nobody there, but I found the casing, and then it came back to SMEHDI's barrel, whatever it was, long barrel rifle. But I didn't see anyone. I just responded to a report of
the seeing
71s.
someone isn't like a crux. That was meant to be, I believe that list was meant to be a list, not that you need to see someone, but rather the hot gun report should contain all the evidence. I think that's what it's trying to say. Seeing someone leave being one of what could be a series of things. I'd even go further and say that if you hadn't charged him with criminal use, we would have been fine too. The report would still exist, right? And let me even go a bit further, is that let's say you found that casing, right, in those hills. By not putting charged with criminal use, the person that found Speedy with the gun might look at it and be like, oh shit, he was found on the scene. Why? What the hell was he doing? Wait a minute, he's got like some other thing. Wait, that was drug sales or whatever. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So
I feel like it's so like set into people's minds that if a hot gun charge comes back to a casing being found to just charge of criminal use of a firearm.
I know it's so bad.
People would do it anyway, even if it didn't say it in the top of the report.
I think it's just going to take time. You know what I mean? I don't think anything's going to change that quickly. It's changing the mindset to get folks to think like how they should, as opposed to formulaically, you know what I mean? Like follow this formula.
I've unfortunately seen reports where people have been charged with criminal use of a firearm when there is nothing in the body of the report, like nothing. But because there was a casing in evidence,
yep,
in charge of it.
Yep, it's like, why are you even doing it? You know what I mean? Well, you should, but surely there must have been more, you know? Like,
personally, if there's nothing in the body of the report, no location, no, this person went to reports of this and found casings, collected them, processed them, MRPD, here's photos of the casings, I won't charge because what have I got to go off of other than one casing and evidence? Like, I at least want a statement, a location, photos.
Yeah, photos of it, what could have been, like all kinds of shit. There's some other stuff I want to talk to you about, by the way. And do you know that I interrogated Delta One?
I have no idea who that even is.
A Darkstone?
Oh, okay. No, I didn't.
Oh my God. Okay. Let's, I'm saying, oh my God, more like there's a lot of shit happening, and, the investigative unit, are you interested in it?
See, this is a difficult one because I don't know. I think I like to be assisting and supporting people, and I am the type to enjoy an investigation, but I don't know if that particularly makes me a detective. I feel like everyone should enjoy looking into things and investigating.
That is how it should be. That's how it will be. In fact, I don't even know if we're going to call people detectives at the moment. Give me a second. Hey, Jimbo.
Hey, can you come down to the... Are you still talking?
Yeah, I'm wrapping up with Maeve right now, filling her in what's been going on.
Because we're sitting at the park right now, and we look like wearing a trench coat. It's the whole thing.
Oh shit. Okay, I'll be right over there.
Right, sounds
okay.
good.
Right. All right. Pulled in 5 different directions. Yeah, I don't see us naming detectives anytime soon. I don't want to. I think that just is a formula for gatekeeping and LARPing effectively. The unit primarily will be who will have access to certain info, who will not. But I would only suspect in every case, only like 20% should be put in a investigative report, whereas the rest should be available to the department, because we need everyone to be working on things. I don't want to go back to this. Let's chat more on this topic, because I'm getting called down to
that's fine.
something. But okay.
I get what you mean. Like, I think I'd be happy to be a part of it, to assist, be like a point of information for people.
Yeah.
I do enjoy, that whole thing, but
Yep.
I don't know if it's what I want to get like my
Hyper
head, like, stuck into.
100%, and I totally get that. Hell yeah! All right,
All right,
I
I'll tell you
will
to
chat
pick
with
the
you soon.
order.
All right.
Yeah.